The London Wetland Centre is a green and watery oasis in the heart of one of the world's busiest cities, and whilst it offers millions of people a wonderful break from the concrete jungle, it may not be the most obvious place to listen to some of the most subtle sounds of nature. But that is precisely what sound recordist and naturalist Chris Watson has come here to do.
So this looks like a microphone, but in fact it's a sealed unit, and it's an underwater microphone. It's a hydrophone. So this works not on changing air pressure as microphones work in the air, but on vibrations. So this device has to be completely submerged in whatever medium you wish to record in which case the fresh water of these ponds in the Wetland Centre.
Chris has an ambition to create a sound installation for London Wild Birdwatch that will take the audience beneath the surface of the freshwater lakes and ponds into the alien world of the mini beasts below.
There's so much sound down there. I mean, one of the real challenges actually is identifying all the different species, because they're all communicating together, these myriad voices. Because the fact is, below the surface, it isn't a silent world. What I'm doing here is fishing for sound. It's impossible to know what it's like beneath the surface unless you listen, and we can't put our heads underwater and hear in that way. So I use these very sensitive hydrophones, which are underwater microphones, to tune in. These are very tiny micro sounds that we're listening to. But the point is, the animals, the insects under the surface are communicating, they're singing, they're in contact with each other. So I love that sense of dipping into this other world that we're just not aware of until we listen below the surface.
Water beetles, dragonfly larvae, amphibians, and a host of other creatures all contribute to this extraordinary symphony. And only through Chris's remarkable sound recordings can we begin to appreciate just how rich and varied the natural chorus is, both above and below the surface.
What's really interesting about moving around all these ponds here at Barnes is that no two ponds sound the same, even though superficially they appear to look the same. I'm actually getting very different sounds from each location. And the point about that is what I'd like to build up is a sound picture, a sound portrait. What I'm aiming to do with the sound installation is create a three-dimensional audio soundscape of the wetlands here by placing the audience, placing the listener on the floor of one of these ponds down amongst the silt and sediment. So what they'll hear is the sound of the surface above their heads, and they'll be surrounded by all these songs and signals that I'm recording now in 3 dimensions. And presenting sound pieces like that is a really powerful and immersive way of putting people into an environment. Well, for a piece like this, a sound piece like this, the cliche about radio being better than television because the pictures are better is actually true. I think this piece needs to be presented in a dark, black environment because everything down there below the surface relies on sound. It's an acoustic world, a world of sound. And so what I'm hoping is, surrounded by all those sounds, the audience, their imagination will do the rest.
To experience Chris's unique journey into the songs beneath the surface, visit the London Wild Birdwatch from the 20th to the 22nd of April 2012.